please make sure your phone's silent and put away. Give 100% of your attention to Kayden for the next like 8 to 10 minutes when he's up here giving his talk. If you've never been to one before, basically the students in my speech class get to pick a topic where they feel like they're passionate, they have some expertise, and they get to share that topic on stage uninterrupted for 8 to 15 minutes. We'll have a few questions afterwards, so if you have any questions for Kayden, you'll be able to ask those. But please give him your undivided attention the rest of the way here. So, I think you know him, he's a great kid. I have him as a sophomore in English. Was so excited when he signed up for speech this year. Please welcome PCHS Junior, Kayden Shrader.
Good morning, y'all. Today I'm going to talk a lot about self-worth. If you don't know what self-worth is defined as the internal sense of being good enough and worthy of love and belonging from others. Keep in mind this definition can fluctuate between me and you. Only you can gauge your own emotions and your self-worth. Anyway, so with all that behind us, I'd like to ask you a question. When I ask these questions, don't feel pressured to respond, just answer truthfully in your head. Have you ever been told you weren't good or smart enough? Has anyone ever made fun of you because of the friends or social group you're in? And lastly, have you ever been discriminated based on your family's income? If you said yes to any of those, I want you to know that your self-worth is not reliant on those factors. And if anyone hasn't told you why, you are worthy. I know it's kind of corny to say, but I truly believe it. A couple of years back now, I was diagnosed with a learning disability called executive dysfunctional disorder. And even before that, I was being told I wasn't good enough based simply on where I was educationally. I'm not saying that to spark a reaction to that any of y'all. I'm simply saying it to reiterate to you guys that your self-worth is not reliant on outside circumstances. And when you truly believe that, you'll start to see so much self-improvement. That's why I'm here today, to simply shine light on a very pressing issue in today's society/culture. Which is that many people tend to put a necessary amount of time into wealth and social status. This in turn is leaving a negative impact on all, and especially the youth. This culture not only promotes instant satisfaction, but this overwhelming idea that you have to quote-unquote make it in life to be happy. True fulfillment comes from an individual that is constantly improving themselves. And you can only do that when you know your self-worth. To expand further on this topic, I'd like to ask you one more question. This time, feel free to raise your hand if you want. What do you think self-worth is directly related to? Yeah. I think a lot of you guys have this common misconception that your social standing and your income make you happy and fulfilled in life, as I stated previously. I'm going to tell you a story about a 13-year-old girl who posted a song to SoundCloud called Ocean Eyes. She later blew up on every platform and was one of the most popular teenagers in pop culture. This girl's name is Billie Eilish. Billie grew up in the public eye, making her hate the fame. She said in Vanity Fair 2019 that, "I kind of hated everything that had to do with it. There's a lot more to fame that's gross, horrible, and just miserable." This is a common theme within many celebrities like Prince Harry, Robert Pattinson, George Clooney, and Harrison Ford. This leads me into one of my main takeaways of my talk, which is that fame is directly related to stress, anxiety, depression, and ultimately suicide and addiction. I wouldn't make this outrageous claim if there wasn't sufficient evidence to back this up. A tragic example of this being Whitney Houston, dying at age 48 from substance abuse because of her fame. Why is this though? Why is it that mass human connection has a serious impact on one's health? According to studies done by scientificamerica.com, we as humans have merged this idea of social pain and physical pain together into one. This article later goes on to say that when the brain is overstimulated by social interaction, it'll start to produce mass amounts of stress and mental distress. To end this first little tidbit off, I'd like to give you one last example of what I truly mean. Poet John Milton wrote in 1637 that fame is the last informity of the noble mind. To dumb that down into simple terms, despite how much we desire it, fame is terrible for our happiness. My next little section of this talk, which is, as you guys probably already know, your wealth, your income. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this topic because I feel like we've heard this talk 9,000 times. But as our culture is moving on and growing in life, we have this idea that we have to quote-unquote make it out of everyone to be happy. When in reality, true happiness comes from person that's constantly improving themselves. When I was doing this talk, I was interviewing people around me, trying to get intake from people around our age, so it's relevant to us. And the more I found that everybody was just saying they wanted to make it, and that entailed a 6-figure salary. If I could have you guys take away anything from this talk, it's that a 6-figure salary is not making it in life. You have to be happy, fulfilled, you have to go chase your dreams, kind of. Throughout this year, Mr. Miller has prompted us to answer these 2 questions in our talk. How does this relate to you, and why does this matter? To answer these questions, I have to show some vulnerability with you all. That's where this man comes in. If you know me, you might know who this man is, but for those who don't, it's my grandpa. I don't want to overshare anything in front of you all. I just want to share his story, which I hope everybody can relate with. I know everyone in here has that one old person, or just person in general in their life that is always happy, and that can be a coincidence. For as long as I knew my grandpa, he was always a beacon of hope for everyone around him. He was intelligent, kind, loving, understanding, basically my father figure in anything you can ask for. I never saw him frustrated or extremely upset at anyone, which I know I sound naive, and I don't want to push this image of him as a saint, because he's obviously human. But he wasn't born into money, and he never complained about where he was in life and his circumstances. I could never understand why he was like this until a little over a year ago. I started to realize he was at his best when he was helping others and bringing joy to others. Whether that be by tipping a little extra when we went out to eat, or playing Xbox with his grandkids, or even the pranks he used to pull on us. I realized that the simple idea combined with the concepts from Stoicism like memento mori, and the idea that no matter what happens externally, the internal is all that matters, and in general it's all that we can control. I started becoming this person I've always wanted to be. The son to my mother, a brother that I've always wanted to be, and lastly, a friend to those who I love. Before all of you guys check out for the day, if you haven't already, I'd like to engrave these last little tidbits inside your head. And that is that your outside circumstances do not define who you are. You're your own person. Do not let society pressure you into thinking you aren't good enough. Humans thrive from this competition and challenge within their community. We should nurture this in a safe and healthy way. Improvement should be the first priority moving on. Growth and improvement is not always easy, but I think Theodore Roosevelt said it best. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Be kind, loving, and understanding. We are the future, so we owe it to ourselves to be the best we can possibly be. Strive to grow and improve in every aspect of your life. Connect with who you truly are and don't ever put on a fake persona for anyone. You guys deserve so much in life. All you have to do is take it. But you can only do that when you know your self-worth. Thank you.
Good job, Kayden. Any questions from the audience? Come on. So first, let me say this, Kayden. That was such a you talk, which I think anybody in here that knows Kayden knows what I mean by that. Kayden truly lives what he just talked about. And I think that's why so many people in this room love this kid, is because he doesn't care about popularity, he doesn't care about the outside circumstances. He talks about, Kayden's just Kayden, and he shows up every day and he's Kayden, and that's why people are drawn to him. So I thought that talk was very representative of you. I'm very proud of you. Any questions for him? Come on, give him something. Johnny, looking at him. Yes? Why did you choose this topic?
Well, that's a good one. So throughout the year, we were prompted with this question a lot, and to be honest, at the start, I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to involve something really personal for my life, and that's where my grandpa came in, and I started to remember all these things, and I was like, I need to share this message the best I could possibly can, and that's why I started doing this.
Any other questions? Mr. Hollister?
Standard teacher question. What do you plan to do with the rest of your life?
What do you plan to do with the rest of your life?
After high school, I want to go to community college for 2 years, and then go get my teaching degree. I want to teach history.
I believe we do a mock interview and speech. Did you do teaching here?
Yeah.
Okay, so his dream job was to teach Portland High School. We appreciate you being here. Let's hear it one more time for Kate.